All right, everybody, super excited about this class. So this class is behavior battles, how to match your habits to your desires. So when it comes to reaching our fitness and our weight loss goals, we all know what to do, right? Like what are some things that we do in order to, improve our fitness and improve our weight loss?
Work out.
So we work out.
Meal plan.
We meal plan.
Journal.
We journal. Yeah, that's good. What else?
Food diary.
Food diary. You work, yeah, stay positive. You've been answering a lot of the mindset stuff. That's really good. Right. We lift weights, we watch our calories, we check in with our coaches. So we know what to do when it comes to our fitness and weight loss goals, right? But despite many of these things, why is it that women, many women, men and women, frankly, don't keep the results long term, even if they know what to do?
They just go back to their old ways.
Yeah, so they go back to their old ways or their old habits, right? Yeah, that's actually perfect, Rose, absolutely. So, we've been focused on mindset and why it's the key to long-term success, but having a healthy mindset is actually the first step. Okay, so this is something that I've been looking at because I've been teaching on mindset for a long time, but I think, okay, that's not enough. I'm not seeing enough long-term change, despite how much I teach on it, I write on it, I speak on it. So I felt like there's another step, there's something that's missing. And so the reason is because your mindset has to translate into habits and behaviors. It can't just stop in positive thinking. You can't positive think your way to a 20-pound weight loss, You have to actually do something in order for those 20 pounds to come off. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. So you've got to take the things that you should do, right? So the exercise, the meal planning, drinking less wine, those kinds of things. And then you turn them into a daily, weekly, and monthly habit, right? As Rose said. So how do you do this, right? So there are two different strategies, okay, that I want to talk about today, okay? And honestly, you can leave that. We have a big towel. We had a big spill, so just grab the towel over there. We have a towel, and we can keep going. It's fine. There you go. Okay, so we have two different strategies, okay? So to turn the mindset into long-term habits and behaviors, okay? So the first one is to bookend your day. So there are two times of the day that usually you have some control over. And that is in the morning when you first get up, and then at night when you go to bed, okay? So here's what I mean, okay? So you may not be able to control everything that happens during your day. In fact, most of the time we can't, okay? But, you ever have one of these, like you get up, you've got this whole plan. Caroline can attest with young kids, right? You've got this whole plan, everything you can do, and then your car breaks down, your husband's out of control, your kids are out of control. Wait a minute, I meant your kids are out of control, not your husband. But anyway, you know what I mean. Like everything just goes haywire, right? And it's nighttime, and you're like, what the heck happened today, right? You go to bed and start all over the next day. Have you guys ever had a day like that? Yes. Yeah, exactly. So we all have had those kind of days, but what you usually can control is right in the morning and how you start your day and how you end your day. Okay, so this is what I mean. Okay, so for example, if you want to reach, exercise, weight loss, meal planning goals, but any goals, financial, maybe you want to write a book, you want to plan for a vacation or do some kind of other thing. This doesn't have to only relate to fitness and weight loss. This is what I always talk about. This is a holistic approach. So think about any other goal that you want to achieve that you just feel like you're stuck and you haven't made any progress, okay? So the best time to create these new habits, okay, are in the morning, okay, in the evenings. So for example, okay, like in my situation, I get up at 5 a.m., I will read personal development, I will pack my food for the day, I will journal, I will exercise before I even open email. Okay, this is a key thing that I've had to learn because email is full of OPA, okay, other people's agendas. You open your email and suddenly you're replying to this and you're reading about that and you're getting back to that person. You got to write this in your journal. You got to do that. You got to put this in your planner. Oh, you got to give it. And then an hour goes by. You're like, oh my gosh, I just spent an hour responding and reacting to everybody else's agendas. Do you understand what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. So don't read your email first thing in the morning. That's like sacred time, because the earlier you get up, the less people are awake to ask something of you, okay? So that, of course, that talks about your bedtime routine, which we'll get to, okay? So, there's plenty of time later in the day to run around reacting to people's stuff. You don't need to do it at 5 o'clock in the morning, or whatever that early morning is. So, your morning rituals, that's where you can include the healthy habits that you want to start. So think about something that you're trying to work on. Can you do it in the morning, or can you take a step of doing it in the morning before you do anything else? Okay, does that make sense? Are you following me? Mm-hmm. Okay, because there can be a lot of different things, but it should be something like brushing your teeth. You get to a point you don't even think about it, you just do it in the morning, hopefully, right? Yeah? Okay. So, for example, what can you do in the morning to further your goal? So let's just say, for example, you're working on, weight loss, okay? So, can you, pack your snacks in the morning before you go out the door, when it's quiet, nobody can bother you, or you don't, get into anything else. Can you exercise, first thing in the morning before, like we have our 6 a.m. sessions here. Not a lot of stuff. You're not going to have a meeting at 6 o'clock in the morning, so can you work out first thing in the morning? So that's what I mean, is developing that habit in the morning that nothing else can get in your way, okay? So the same thing is when it comes to your evening routine. Now I know some of you have kids and so forth, you got to get them to bed and all that, but at some point it's peace and quiet, it's that quiet again. Now there's a thing about at night though, okay? At nighttime is when the evil gremlins come out. At nighttime is when we eat stuff that we're not supposed to eat, or we stay up too late and watch things we're not supposed to watch, or get sucked into the trolling Facebook we're not supposed to, you know what I mean? At nighttime, that's when that kind of stuff happens, So instead of getting sucked into things that are time wasters or bad eating habits or things like that, think about what you can include in your nighttime routine when you can't get distracted by other things. Again, shut down your email. You don't need to be replying to people at 9, 10 o'clock at night, So, don't look at your phone. What can you do that can help you with the goal that you want to reach? So again, this applies to anything. But since we start here with health and fitness and weight loss, what are some things you can do? So for example, that you can also pack your meals at night for the next day. So then in the morning, you don't have the excuse of, oh my gosh, I have to run out the door and I had nothing planned. That's when you really get into trouble, or packing your snacks and so forth. So if you have a hard time getting up in the morning, you just open up the fridge, grab your food bag and run out the door. Maybe you make smoothies, make your smoothie at night. That could be something that becomes your routine. Some other things on more of the mindset, personal development stuff, read 10 pages of a personal development book before you go to bed. Now this one is really great, because studies show that your mind processes the last thing that you input into it when you're sleeping. Now you know this. Have you guys ever read a scary book or watched a show or TV or a movie and you dream about it, or you're thinking, or you wake up with some, oh my gosh, I had a dream about that. Does that ever happen to you guys? Especially if it's like scary or really impactful. You remember, you're processing it when you're sleeping. So think about if you read a book on personal development, on working on contentment, or working on peace, or working on leadership, or working on productivity, working on reducing your sugar cravings. I mean, anything that's positive that I've been talking about, working on your personal development. If you do that at night before you go to bed, those positive, inspiring thoughts are going through your mind while you're sleeping. Isn't that cool? Mm-hmm. So that's a really great habit to develop. Okay, so we've talked about also writing a gratitude list. So you go to bed thinking about what you're grateful for. The other two things that you could do in a journal would be to journal about what you did well, okay, and during that day, and what you can learn from that day. So not what sucked, what I did bad, you know, where I failed, but what you can learn from the day. So maybe something really went wrong, and something with a coworker, or you completely screwed up your eating and ate all the stuff you shouldn't, or you know, drank too much, or whatever. You know, what can you learn? Okay, next time I go to this social event, I'm going to plan ahead and, you know, eat a salad before I go, limit my alcohol, or whatever. You know, does that make sense? So you think about what you learn. So those are some habits that you can work on and develop in the evening before you go to bed that can help you push forward in translating your mindset into habits that then turn into healthy behaviors. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So what habit, hopefully you're thinking about like, what habit can you start in the morning or at night that can help you move forward in your goals? Does anybody want to share? Has somebody had like, oh, you know, I should do that?
I like the smoothie idea.
I mean, maybe tonight. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. What else? Anybody else have a thought?
Packing your snacks the night before.
That helps, yeah, because in the morning, just go out the door. Yeah,
Yeah, I do overnight oatmeal.
overnight oatmeal. Noelle, any got you doing that? Okay, that's great. Yeah, so there you go. So continuing with those, they need to be turned into a habit that is, you're not even thinking about it anymore, like brushing your teeth. You don't really think about that. So that's what is the other thing I want to get into, is in order to, the second strategy of turning those desires into those habits that stick, you know, so you can reach your goals for life, is starting with your goal in mind, is developing that daily disciplined routine, and that routine becomes a rhythm. Okay, so what I mean by this is the key to becoming top notch when it comes to reaching your goals. I mean, truly, you know, successful, excelling in what you want to accomplish, again, in any area of your life, is top notch, excellent routines. So this doesn't mean this is wishy-washy. Sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't do it. This means, without a doubt, like you are disciplined and you do it without fail. And that's why I always use the brushing the teeth example, because I mean, I imagine here, you know, you guys all have beautiful smiles. You guys take care of your teeth, you know, and you do it rigorously. It's a rhythm, and you might be sleeping and brushing your teeth, you know, but you do it without fail, right? So that's what you need. You need a rhythm, you know, because sometimes the best intentions we have, they don't really happen because we don't have a system of execution. We fail because we don't have a system to execute them. You know, does that make sense? So if we don't have a system to execute them, we're destined to fail. So I want to give you actually an example, so you can really see what I mean by top-notch, excellent, world-class routine. Okay? So here is an example of Michael Phelps. I wanted to look up what is his pre-race routine. Okay, so this guy, you know, in case you don't know, he won 22 Olympic medals, including 18 gold medals. Okay? That's pretty darn awesome, okay? So here is his pre-race routine. He arrives at the pool in time to begin stretching 2 hours before each event. So he begins his routine, he stretches his arms, then he works his way down his body until he reaches his ankles. That takes 30 minutes, okay? After those 30 minutes, he then goes into the pool. 45 minutes, he does warm-up swimming. He does swims of 800, 600, 400, 200 meters, a swim kick pull drill, then a few 25-meter sprints. He then changes his warm-up outfit to a skin-tight racing swimsuit, and that takes 20 minutes. Okay, so everything is like timed, and he does these exact things. Then, after those 20 minutes of putting his suit on, he listens to music for 20 minutes. He listens to hip-hop, rap, and techno, okay, to get him really focused and jazzed up for the race, okay? Then, when he gets on the starting block, he has this perfectly set routine. He stands beside the starting block for exactly 4 minutes, okay? When his name is announced, he steps onto, then off the block, he swings his arms 3 times, steps back on, assumes his starting position, and then go. Like, it's precise. You could set your clock, your watch, by his routine. So it's pretty cool, isn't it? So I've heard of these kind of things. There's also some examples of golfers and different, I've heard exactly that they do this for this minute, this, and then they do that thing, and then they listen to this thing, and they read that thing, and it's like world class. And they do it without fail the same way every time. that shows why they are amazing, right? And, you know, most of the rest of us are not that great, you know, because they develop these world-class, excellent routines. And I thought that was a really good example. But you know what, the crazy thing is we can all be that way. That's what really inspires me and encourages me, you know. We can, we may not be going for a world-class swimmer, but what about, you know, I don't know, mountain trekker, or, you know, marathoner, or amazing cook, or, you know, slim, sexy 50-year-old. I mean, whatever, you know, like we can all be the best version of ourselves if we develop a routine that we stick with without fail, day in and day out, that's in line with the goals that we want to reach, right? I think that's really inspiring. Okay, so what did I do with my sheet? So, see, let me just walk off the camera because I gotta get the thing I want to give you. Well, I promised everybody it's not going to be a videographer's perfection, sorry. Okay, so I want to give you guys a tool, okay? This is a very simple tool, but I think this is going to help you get started, okay? And for those of you watching the video, I'm going to send the link to you, okay? So you can download it. So you can just take it and pass it around. Okay, so what this is a weekly rhythm register, okay? And you know what I'll do is I'll actually send the link so you guys can download a soft copy. You can print a bunch of them, but you can have it, you know, any version of this. Okay, so the rhythm of daily action aligned with your goals creates the momentum that separates dreamers from super achievers. You know, and that's really what we're going for here. You know, we're not dreaming of losing the 20 pounds or running your first 5K or these kinds of things. We want these things to become achievements, right? And so what gets tracked stays visible. So a way to get into this daily, weekly, monthly routine that becomes a habit, a rhythm, is to track it, okay? So the way you can track it, okay, so this rhythm register has your action, all right, and then the days, okay? And then what I like is the achieve, the goal, and the net. So let me give you an example of this, okay? So in my case, one of my 90-day goal when I started the year was to sleep at least 7 hours a night, okay? So what I do, there's two ways to do this. I can either write in, like Monday I slept 7, Tuesday I slept 6, Wednesday I slept 8, and so that my goal at the end, if I do 7 times 7, that's 49. Right? And then I can add it and I can see whether I reached it or I was short of it, okay? Or I could just be simple and check it off. Did I do it? Did I not do it? And so my goal was 7 days a week, I sleep at least 7 hours, so the number would be 7 as the goal. And if I achieved it, it's 7. And if I didn't, it would be 6, 5, whatever, you know. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So another one would be like, you know, running 3 times a week. Okay, so your goal, your goal number would be 3, okay, and then you would, you know, write 3 times, okay. But if you're looking for more like time, like you want to exercise 30 minutes, you know, 3 days a week, okay, maybe you want to put 90, because maybe on Monday you only had a chance to do 10 because your kids were running after you, whatever, but then on Tuesday you did 20. And then, you know, Wednesday and Thursday each did 30, so you still got your 90. You might want to track it that way. So you can be creative with this. The point, though, is to track the habits and the behaviors that you want to master, okay? What gets tracked stays visible so that it becomes a routine, so that it becomes a rhythm. If you don't track it, it's just this idea, okay? So I really encourage you to track it, even if it may seem like the simplest thing, like pack my food at night or whatever. Track it, because if it's visible and it's in front of you, then you know, okay, I'm on track, I'm doing well. And so there's something about, what is it about this to-do list of checking it off or crossing it off? Like, you might just write it down just so you can check it off, so you feel good about it, right? You ever do that?
It's accomplishment.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we do that, don't we? It's like we have this list, we're like, oh, I didn't write that on the list, but I did it, so I'm gonna write it, and then I'm gonna check it. I know, it's so funny, right? So So track the healthy habits that you want to develop, and I guarantee they're going to become a routine, which will turn into a rhythm, which then you're no longer thinking about, right? And so that will help you achieve that life-lasting success. That's what we're looking for. We're not going for the short-term quick fix, because you can do any program and you'll get results. We are going for that life-lasting change. This is what you need. You need it to turn into the rhythm, right? Got it? So now you gotta do it, right? So now you gotta make this happen. So to finish it off, I wanna hear what's one daily behavior or action that you're going to track. I'm gonna put it on camera because this is our last class. So now I want everybody to hear it. A little bit of accountability. Sue, I can tell that you're thinking about it. Come on.
No, go on. No, come back to me.
Rose.
I forgot it. Drink at least 6 glasses of water a day.
Okay.
Water consumption is my huge.
That's great. So you can either put little tallies in the little box, because that one's a little bit harder to, like, at the end of the day, how do you know you drank 6? So you might want to put little tallies or something like that. I had somebody who, like, they'd put 6 quarters and then they'd move it, or something like that, or rubber bands or whatever. So that's good. Okay. Anybody else? Yes, Cynthia.
I need to stop getting on the tablet when I sit down on the couch.
Okay, so are you doing work?
Email,
Okay.
everything, internet, email, Facebook.
So, and what are you doing on the couch? It's just relaxation time, or just,
Yeah, and it's going to be a
downtime?
habit. Whenever I do that, I'll sit down with the tablet and just be there forever.
Okay, yeah, so stopping that.
Yeah.
So there, maybe setting an alarm on your phone says, I'm done with the tablet at a certain time at night, and then the way you track it is you check it. Did you do it? Did you not do it? And then you can see, oh my gosh, I did it 5 times this week. Oh, this habit's really bad. But then you become aware.
Yeah.
And then you start to lessen it. That's a great one. I really appreciate that one. Did you have one, Barb?
Yeah, I'm going to read 20 minutes a night.
Beautiful. That's great.
I have 2 of the motivation.
The personal
Yeah.
development books. That's
But I
wonderful, Barb.
have to read them now.
Sure. Yeah. And so you can set a timer for the 20 minutes, and then
Yeah.
like when you're done, you're done. Or if it's too late or whatever, then the way you can track it is put 10 minutes, and then the next day it may be 20, but at least you did something. Right? That's really good. Yeah. That's awesome. Anybody else? Yeah, Charlotte.
I want to take like 2 to 3 movement breaks during work because I sit too long.
Oh, great. Okay, so that's awesome. So let's say you want to track that. You're going to say, 2 movement breaks, for example. So if you were doing it Monday through Friday, that would be 10, right? And then you can do it on the register or on your calendar, and you tally them. And then at the end of the week, you sum it up and you say, okay, I did it, or oh gosh, I only went 3 times this week. I got to step it up. It's great. So you can be aware of that. That's awesome. I love these guys. Anybody else? Yeah, Robin.
Not having the fake sugar stuff in food and.
Okay. Okay, so you're gonna avoid artificial sweeteners. Okay. So is that at home or when you go out? How are you gonna track that?
Any place I go.
Okay. All right. So
Daily.
so your goal is, your goal is 0 at the end. 0. So if you have a mark, that means you actually got like a negative, right? Okay, that's interesting. Okay, that's good. Good. So this is really good, guys. So you're on the right track. I like it. Okay. So remember, track your success habit. Your goal is to turn the positive mindset towards this habit, right, into a routine that becomes a rhythm. So after a while, you don't have to track it anymore because it's part of your life, right? That's pretty exciting, huh? And it's exciting that we all can develop those excellent, world-class, top-notch routines that can make us excellent, world-class, and top-notch. So all of us can accomplish that. So I hope that encourages you. I congratulate you for finishing the challenge. You guys have done great. Usually the last class is the smallest class. So you guys made it. I'm so proud of you. And I look forward to our big red carpet ceremony at the end of the week. So, yay, good job. Thank you.